Hey, we're looking at the mixer page within Concert Grand here. This is a little bit daunting. It may take a while to get through, so I'm going to do my best to be speedy but thorough at the same time. Each of these microphone perspectives has its own channel, and channel, for those of you who are familiar with the mixing or in your DAW or live sound or whatever, it should look familiar to you. You have the on-off buttons underneath, so if you turn something off, it will purge it from memory. You can see that it's lowered the memory. As soon as you turn it back on, then it's loading it back into memory. Most of the presets, all of the presets except the Concert Grand initialized preset, and load everything into memory, and it's about 3.14 gigabytes in the Concert Grand LE, as you can see up top here. Each channel strip is almost identical in its function and what it has. So let's just go through. So we have EQ. You can turn on and off EQ for each channel. This is like the solid G console emulation that we have over here. As soon as you touch a frequency, you're going to get the frequency showing up. And then the gain, whatever you have, and each across here. So then the settings only are revealed when you touch the knob. Same thing with the compressor. I'll get a new tongue for the next video. So when you touch something, it will then show you the settings on each of these. So if you were to turn this on now, the compressor, you'd see that you'd get no output because the volume's turned all the way down. So you got to be careful of that as you go through. This is your reverb send for each channel. Underneath this is mono. Let's take a look at what mono does. Mono can function in one of three ways, I believe. So then here is the just a chord. And then let's turn on mono. It's going to, at the moment, sum the left channel and the right channel into one. So it gives you a little bit more flexibility with how you handle each of these channels. And let's see what happens. If you mono just the left side, this is just taking the single channel, and then we'll switch that up with the other. So as you can hear, they're slightly different. I'm just going to go to the settings page and turn down the pedal noise a little bit. That's quite loud. And then going back to the mixer. There we go. So there's your mono. You can turn the mono back off, and it doesn't matter where these are. When the mono is turned off, it's still running stereo. We should mention that this track right here, track 4, is a mono track. So even if you press mono, there's nothing that will happen over here. It's mono by default. It's the only one. So moving on, next we have the pan. And panning allows you to move the sound between the left ear and right ear. And we also have an inverse pan. I love the inverse pan because all of a sudden you can throw the right side into the left side and the left side into the right side. So here it is, right? So it almost gives you like a brand new perspective on that microphone, even though it's just flipping the left and right channels on it. So moving on, then we have the solo. The solo will allow you to open up another microphone perspective. For example, I'll add the player here. And solo just will let you listen to one to adjust its volume. When you let go of the solo, let's add some room to that. So we got 3 at once here. And then you can solo the rooms while it's playing, so you can hear just the sound of each. And you can also mute them. If you mute them, they're going to save resources. If you solo them, they're not going to. So what I mean by that is that if you solo and I play a note, it's still playing 3 voices for a single note, right? But if I press mute, you can see it's only using a few of the notes for each of those. It's only using 2 notes instead of 3 for the attack. So that's solo and mutes. Best thing for solos is just to kind of hear what's going on with something. See if you want to make an adjustment, EQ or so on with it. Mutes are nice that if you have a couple of things, microphone perspectives, you're like, well, what does it sound like without? And a couple of them you can go through, and it saves resources at the same time next time you play a note. Volumes, if you want the volumes to be at unity gain, which means neither adding or subtracting, you just command click on them and it will bring them back to unity gain. You got lots of extra boost over here up to 12 dB, I think, above the fader. So you got to be careful that you don't clip. I'm going to purposely clip, and you'll see that it's not a nice sound. So let's see. Ooh, terrible, right? So you have to be careful that when you combine several microphones together, it's easy to clip. That's what it actually should sound like, right? So that's why gain staging and make sure you set your levels is important. We've already seen me speak English. Turn off the with the power buttons over here. Underneath, what we'll see is the hammer, the explanation of what each microphone is, and a little picture of what they are. Underneath that, it'll show you your output. So the nice part is if you set Kontakt up to be multi-output, and within your digital audio workstation, you could take each of these and throw them to an individual track within your DAW, which is kind of cool. And we looked at the reverb settings on a different video.